Hi everybody, this is Cindy Guentert-Baldo at Llama Letters on Instagram, and this is another lesson in my series Llamas Love Lettering. It's a handwriting series designed to help you get better at lettering with the emphasis on doing it in your planners. You can use this for all sorts of stuff, but planners are kind of my focus. Anyway, as you can see on the screen, I'm pimping out my shit here. So follow me on Instagram at Llama Letters. You can hashtag your practice work, anything you do with this. I'd love to see it. So hashtag it on Instagram with Llamas Love Lettering and tag me in it. My website, llamaslovelettering.com, sensing a theme here, has all the worksheets for these lessons. And if you like my videos, subscribe and like them, comment, all that good stuff to show me that, you love my YouTube stuff, or that you tolerate my YouTube stuff, or that you hate watch my YouTube stuff. I just want to know that you're watching. If you want to judge me, go for it. I'm sure I offer plenty of material. Anyway, so today we are going to talk about punctuation and a little bit of like flourishes and doodles for your lettering. I figure we've done a lot of kind of not level 1 stuff, but we've got some good fonts under our belt if you've been watching the rest of these series. And so to make it look really awesome in your planner, adding the proper punctuation, adding a few little doodles will make it just make it really pop. Once this video is done, I'm going to start moving into a little bit more. We're going to probably, my guess, and don't quote me on this, I don't know what exactly I'm going to do yet, but I've got some ideas, and a lot of them have to do with some more advanced, let me turn this, I think it's looking a little janky there. A little bit of advanced cursive work, because we've only done a little bit of cursive work. It's mostly been focusing on print, and I know cursive is hard for a lot of people, so we're going to do some cursive work to help you really get some cool effects. Anyway, that's coming later. Today it's all about punctuation and some flourishes, and I will have a worksheet uploaded that just has like what we talk about today in a format that you can use to like trace and practice and use as a reference. But then I'm also going to, hopefully this is the plan, put up a blank worksheet, because I haven't been doing a lot of the worksheets with the grid lines and things like that on them lately. I've just been working on graph paper, mainly because drawing the grid lines out is a pain in my ass. But I'm going to do a just blank worksheet that you can take for all of the previous worksheets, especially the ones where I didn't offer guidelines, as a practice sheet, just because my laziness is starting to get the better of me. Anyway, today though, for this video, I'm not working on just a sheet of graph paper. I'm actually working in my Inkwell Press Planwell journal. And the reason I am is because I didn't feel like I needed a full piece of graph paper to work on punctuation. And I just like this paper. It's so thick and like nice. And I like it thick. So I'm going to work in here, and today I'm actually working with a medium point flare felt tip marker, Papermate Flare, mainly just because I'm mixing it up. I love my Sharpies. But I don't know. I just felt like trying something new today. Well, not new. I use these as well, but doing something a little different. Because that's how I am. I'm different. Anyway, I'm going to stop justifying myself with ramblings and get to work. Now, you know that there is all sorts of punctuation. There's periods, commas, semicolon, colons, ellipses, all that shit. Well, I'm not going to show you every piece of punctuation today because I'm too lazy, as we've discussed already. But I am going to show you a few things that you can use to build other punctuation. For example, a period. Okay? Now, your regular period, it's just a dot, right? You can obviously make it like thicker, make a bigger dot. You can do like a circle to stand for a period. You can also add a drop shadow onto that. That's about all you can do with a period. There's not lots that you can do. I mean, you can like do it like this and then like add some like shading in it. Can you see that? Let's zoom in on that so you can see what I just did. Let's not kill my camera. Why aren't you zooming? Nope. Okay, whatever. I can't figure my camera out today. Okay, but I added some like little stippling dots. That's what stippling is, by the way. If you don't know what stippling is when you shade something using dots. Okay? Or you can I'll make it bigger so you can see better. You can do it like this and do like some stripes. You can fill in some of the stripes if you want to. But yeah, basically with a period, you're just going to be doing like variations on the circle. But then you can use this for like a colon. You can do some dots in one and do some stripes in another if you want to. Like, you can't see it in this again, but it's the idea. So then you have a comma. And the same, you can do like that for your regular comma. You can kind of thicken it up. And then when I do a comma, a lot of the times when I'm doing like a stylized one, I kind of make like a little ball like that and then add down the tail to just make it look kind of like a little fish, sort of. I gotta make the zoom work. There we go. Now you can see what I was doing, if it focuses ever. Okay, so there's the comma, there's like the stripes and stuff I did. I'm gonna pull back out. I cannot make the camera do what I want it to. Okay, there we go. Okay, so for a negative space comma, you just sort of bring it around like a C, bring the tail down. It's kind of the same shape as a 9. So that's how you would make a negative space comma. You can add a little drop shadow to it if you want to. And the same deal, you can stipple it, full. You can stripe it, however you want to do it. Then we have my favorite I love the exclamation point. I use it all over the place. Not just in lettering, but in general. If you follow me on Instagram or if you see me around Facebook, I use a lot of exclamation points. Anyway, so your regular one, you can also angle it. I like angling it. I think angling it looks rad. If you thicken it up, I like to not just do like, I don't want to just thicken it up like this where it's just like a thick line. I mean, you can, but I like to add like a little bit, like make the top wider than the bottom. To me, that looks more interesting, but you can do it either way. Same with when you do negative space. You can just do, like that, or you can really kind of exaggerate it. Also, a fun thing to do with the exclamation point is to make it really fat, like that. There, you can have a lot of fun with this one. Add your drop shadow if you want to. Shade it the same way. Do stripes, do stippling. However you want to do it. But exclamation points are fun to play with. Okay, then we have question mark. Question marks, I have a little bit of issue with making them look cool. So you do them, there's several different ways to do question marks. That's like the kind of the basic way of doing a question mark. When I'm writing, generally, I don't make it that defined. I just sort of, or you can do like a more, and you can get really interesting with a question mark because it has a curve. You know, with straight lines and dots, they don't really offer you a lot of creative license, but with a question mark, you can do it in so many different ways. You can add a little swirly to it if you want to. You know, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. Anyway, for that, you can thicken it. Now you can just do a basic thickening like this, where you just go over it again and make it thick. You can thicken it the same way you would thicken your cursive. So you like kind of go up and then thicken the downstrokes. You know, that could look cool too. You could add like a embellishment that way. You see, a question mark you can have a lot of fun with, which is nice because they're kind of stupid looking to start with. So, and then for a negative space one, I usually start with a line, and then I take it around. Like, remember when we talk about with fives, how you want to kind of not bring it in all the way, kind of back off a little bit? It's so you can go back and do this. It's the same concept. Just don't bring your, when you do your curving, don't bring it in all the way, because that way you can still do the other side. If you brought it in all the way like this, but then did the same thing, it looks kind of silly because this part sticks out further. Ideally, you want your imaginary center to be the awesome exclamation or question mark. Like, you want to imagine that you're taking your pen and drawing through the middle of it, and that's what's going to look like a regular question mark, because this is the outside. And that's another way that you can practice the negative space, because a question mark is a little bit more difficult. Like, you can draw your regular question mark, right? And then kind of draw around it to get the hang of where to go. You see what I mean? So anyway, that might take a little bit more practice. And then the last one I'm going to show you is like a dash. At least I think it's a dash. Hyphen. Shit, I can't spell today. Question mark? I don't know. Anyway, here's your line. Then you can, like, you know, thicken it up. You can do negative space with a drop shadow if you want to. You can also start with one line and kind of do like a swirly thing. I mean, you can do that without filling it in too. You can just do it like that. And that's a cool thing to do. Anyway, with these marks, you can basically make a lot of punctuation. So that's just play around with them. See what you like. Punctuation's fun to use. As a side note, a lot of the time I like to, like if I was doing some planner writing, you know, I don't know. I'm not doing anything fancy here. Party time. I love adding the punctuation like that, you know. Or if you don't know if you're going to party time, question mark, you know, that's a fun way to do it. Anyway, so that's punctuation. Okay, so now we'll move on to like flourishes and doodles, and I think I'm going to turn the page. Okay, so when I doodle in my planner, and this is not doodling just to draw something, this is when I write something. I like to add some little doodles and flourishes around the writing. So I'm just going to give you a few of them that you can use as a jumping off point, okay? One of my favorite things to do is a heart. And normally if I'm going fast, I just like do it like that. And I'll fill it in sometimes if I want to, or sometimes I just leave it like that. That's my favorite kind of little heart to just doodle around, like family time or date night or whatever. But if you wanted to do it without the little line in the middle, you could do like a little heart like this. But what I like to see, or what I think looks neat, is when one of the sides of the heart is bigger than the other. So, like that. I think that looks pretty cool. You can also go wide with your hearts, like this. Or tall with your hearts. Or you can go fat and chunky with your hearts like this. Like, you know, all sorts of different styles of hearts to try. And this is just a regular heart. I'm not getting into arrows or embellishments on the hearts. This is just some little hearts to doodle around your letters. Okay? Then we have flowers. Again, if I'm just doodling in my planner and I'm going fast, I just sort of do like a little, the middle of the flower. I'll just do it like that. Now notice my petals are not evenly shaped. They're not. There's no rhyme or reason. And you could, again, do like a perfect little everything looking kind of close to the same. But I like with the hearts, I like a little bit of unevenness. I think it looks more individual. So you can do your center as a heart if you want to. You know, you can, I like to do, one of my favorites is doing like a little swirly center. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it bigger so that you can see. Like a swirly center and like skinny petals. Or you can do like dots in the center and you can try fat petals. You can also take your petals and you can add more petals to the outside. You can keep going like this. Yeah, your flower can keep getting built out, and that's a fun way to doodle as well with flowers. Another style of flower that sometimes I'll do when I'm doodling is like an idea of a rose. You just sort of start and like that's kind of a, if you wanted to like add like a little stem to it, just like a little rose. Anyway, or for a tulip, like a really quick basic tulip, you start with like a petal shape like that, and just add one, and add the other, and there you've got a little tulip. So those are some flower doodles. Speaking of little swirls, I love adding little like swirl embellishments. So I'll do like this. And when I do them, sometimes I'll do like different directions or different sizes. You know, you can add a whole bunch of these in different ways around stuff. The trick with any of these doodles, any of these, when you're doing lettering, especially in your planner when it's small, don't do too many. Don't have like your planner square be like this and you write whatever you're gonna write here and then do like heart, 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 heart. No, don't do that. Don't do any of that shit. Like, keep it like a sprinkling, you know, because otherwise it just looks sloppy. I mean, if you want it to look sloppy, I guess you could like vomit out a whole bunch of parts, but it'll look like the vomit, like it'll look like the doodling fairy like splooged all over your stuff, and you don't want that look necessarily. I also like arrows. You can do some different types of arrows. Most of them start with a straight line, so you can do just, you know, a little basic arrow. You can take your straight line and add a triangle. You can make the ends like this if you want to. You can do, this is one of my favorites, just to take it like that and then just sort of color it in to look like a little quick arrow. You can try, and if you're doing this, this takes a little practice. Like I see, even I just did it kind of stupid looking, to do a negative space arrow. You can, I know it kind of goes against the whole straight as an arrow thing, but you can kind of take like a curly or like a wavy line and add a little bit of an arrow to it. You can make them short with a big, like with a big pointy part, or you can make them long with a tiny pointy part, or any mixture of it. Here's some ideas to get you started with arrows. And then one of the last kind of flourishes that I do when I'm writing is I love the curly line, right? Now this curly line looks great underneath writing or on the sides of writing. This looks great. If you want to make it look really, if you want to add something, you could do it this way. If you want to add something to it, you could add some dots. You could add some lines. You could do it like that. You could completely like double it up. There's a bunch of things you can do. Anyway, so these are just some doodling ideas with your lettering. And I'll do more doodling, doodling posts, doodling videos as time goes on. But these are just some ideas for you to get started embellishing your lettering. Like once you get your lettering done, so let's do a quick example. Let's see. Last day of school is coming up, so we'll start with that. So to do my principle, to follow kind of the way I like to letter, we could do some negative space lettering. Last. I'm not going to get too fancy. Day. Try to keep this about the size it would be in my planner. Okay, wait. Last day of school. Maybe add a big exclamation point, and then can add some embellishments to it. And then you'd be maybe use some color to color it in. But that's a way to doodle around it. Or another one would be, let's just do a quick one. Date, night. Except, kind of missed, but I was trying to conserve space. Using a big heart with this, and then, maybe another little heart in there or something. I don't know. There's ways to doodle. It's just an experiment. These are all fun things that you can practice. You don't have to be in your planner. Just practice on a piece of scrap paper until you get the feel of it, Anyway, that's about all I got for you today. So good luck. Try these out. Post some pictures. I'd love to see what you're working on. And I will see you next time.